Hey, it's 10:30 in a little bit. Hello, everybody. Hannah and I were having so much fun. I almost forgot to turn this on and clue you guys in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's December. It's the holiday season, and we are all getting ready for that month-long holiday spirit. Where everybody treats everybody like we should be treated all year long. So it's very cool. Anyhow, Hannah, you have some good news, but right now, I don't know if we have any eyes on the prize, so let's wait on that for a little minute.
All right.
I will talk about, until we get some eyes, I will talk about our special guest coming up in, somebody's here?
Oh,
Squirrel Lake. Jano's here. Hi, Kris and Hannah.
hey, Jano.
Okay, then. I don't have to do that. Let's do our
So much for the special guest.
Yes, let's do our thing. Hey, Jano, do you want to join us? Do you want to join us as a host?
Yeah, you want to come on live?
If you would, I will give
Oh,
you.
hey, Tina.
Hey, Tina. Okay, let's see. That you guys, Tina and Jano, if you'd like to join us, that's where to join us live. It's the Christmas spirit. We can reach out and hug each other if we can see each other.
Oh, John's here. Sup, John?
Hey, John, guys. Hello. Okay, what do we have? Hello. How come you're seeing those things before I am? I guess
they're just popping up on comments.
Popping up. Okay. All righty. Anyhow, we have some joyrides to tell you about. And Hannah's going to start. Hannah, go for it.
Why the applause?
Because I'm excited for you.
Okay, so this might seem a little silly.
No.
But I'm 26 and I have finally gotten my driver's license.
That's not silly.
I was so scared, Kris. I was so scared. That's why it took so long. Plus, when we would schedule a test, something would come up or
COVID.
Something had come up in between that wouldn't let me, get enough practice in. So that was happening. I'm telling you the truth. That was happening for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I had to take the written test quite a few times because, the permit would expire, and failed that a few times because I don't know about where you guys are, but at least in New Jersey, they word the questions in such a way they either put too much detail or too little detail to the point where you don't even know what they're asking anymore. So it's kind of like a guessing game almost.
D failed one test because of the way they were wording things. He said,
"Yeah, well, the first time
I remember that. I remember that very well. It's like, what are they talking about?" Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first time I failed the written test, I don't know if you know this, but I came home and I was embarrassed. I was disappointed. I was probably like 22. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do some reading about D. So I grabbed, really up close and personal. I opened it up to a random page, and it was that page. That made me feel so much better.
D didn't do it either the first time.
But also in New Jersey, they put legal stuff in there that's not like road, like not directly affected with the road. Like if you should get your license taken away 2 times, how long is it taken away? Stuff that like lawyers should know, or you'd think that someone would explain to you should that occasion arise. I do not plan to have that occasion arise, but then they put in math. 12-ounce can of beer is equal to what?
How much alcohol?
I'm sitting there and I'm like, I didn't know there would be math. I'm like, I did not do well with math. But
tell them about your parallel parking experience. Is that where you're going next?
So in New Jersey, you have to learn how to parallel park with the road test. That's the law. Even though you're probably not going to be doing it, still have to do it. So I had been practicing for a while with 2 cones, but I get to the place where I'm going to take the test, and I got really confused by their setup because instead of 2 cones, there were 10. So it was just, I didn't really know what was going on anymore. Especially since they had you, like, wait in a line. And from where I had been, waiting in the line, the setup looked different. I could see that there were a bunch of cones, but when it was my turn and I turned to, see the cones head on, they looked different from what they had looked like, 2 minutes before.
Right.
So I was just really caught off guard, and I didn't know what was going on anymore, and I hit a cone and failed. But this time, I took it on, I think it was Tuesday. At least this time I knew what to expect.
Uh-huh.
However, I did not expect to pass, but I did.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because that place, they have you parallel park and then do a K-turn. And then if you're good with those, you pass. You don't actually go out onto the road, which is a little concerning with certain people. But yeah.
I gotta tell you what happened. I took my test in a little town called Cle Elum, where I was living at the time. There were like 1,200 people tops in Cle Elum at the time. And we started out, the guy who was giving us our test was actually the sheriff of the town. This is how small this place was. They had to, kind of, everybody did all kinds of different things to get this guy. The sheriff gets in the car with me, and I pulled out and I start down the road, and a ball comes out between two cars. And of course I slammed on my brakes and this little kid comes out after it, and he's going, woof, you passed. I don't care. You passed, But of course, we still had to go. And I grew up on a ranch. So I was driving tractors from the time I was 10 until I was 16. I was pretty well aware of how to drive and how to park and how not to hit things. Okay. But we too had to do parallel parking in Cle Elum, where you never had to worry about it anyway. And so we get up onto the main street, and there's one car parked, and in about a mile, and he says, okay, pretend there's another car behind them and parallel park behind them. So I come up beside this car. I start to back out. The guy whose car it was got in the car and drove off. So here I am parallel parking between two invisible cars. And the sheriff is like, all right, But yeah, it's pretty hysterical. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
But the fact that I didn't kill somebody on the road, this ball comes out and I slammed on my brakes. And he said, okay, you passed. Anyhow. Yeah. Well, congratulations. I'm delighted. Have you been driving with your folks before? Have you been out on the streets and stuff before?
Yeah, I've been out with my dad before, and in New Jersey, before you take your road test, at some point you have to go out driving with an instructor for 6 hours.
Okay.
I did that in high school, but it was still good. You only have to do that once.
Right.
But your guy sounds a lot cooler than the guy that I had.
Yeah.
Because we were driving and you get the yellow light. And he's like, all right, you see the yellow light? And I'm like, yep. He's like, you know what it means? And I'm like, it means slow down. And he's like, speed up. I'm sorry, what? Speed up? So, boom, Basically, whenever I was in a car with him, because we did it 2 hours for 3 days. At that point, I was just like, whenever I'm with him in that car, I'm just going to disobey the law and speed up, get through that light.
Perfect New Jersey driver, right? You got it going there. All right, let's hit the comments, and then I'll do my joyride. Are we finished with the our driving experiences?
I think so.
Okay, let's see. We got hi guys. Hi. This is Helen in New Zealand. Helen Schofield.
Hey, Helen.
When I show pictures later on, both you and Hannah are really going to appreciate them. We got a congratulations from Helen.
Thank you, Helen.
John, since I was watching the clip of Dr. McCoy on Star Trek 3, someone mentioned in the comments section it is actually the sick bay redressed. I didn't know that. Okay. Great job, Hannah. We got a great job, Hannah.
Thank you, John.
Congratulations from Jano.
Thank you, Jano.
The Barcine. Oh, okay. Janet in UK.
Hey, Janet.
These people are all coming in here at all different times from all everywhere. When he's trying to hop a ride to Genesis 2, it was made to look like a bar, even though it was originally sick bay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Memories. Here we go. This is a long one. I
Ooh.
failed the parallel park, which made me fail the test. So my dad picked me up every Saturday and we backed up in a business park all day. Then when I went back, I didn't have to parallel park, so I passed. I went out to where my dad was waiting. I said, let's get out of here before they change their minds. He laughed and said, that's just what your brother said the first time too. Abby.
Hey, Abby.
Is this...
I don't know. Is this a new Abby or is this?
I think this might be a new Abby. Abby, let us know who you are. I mean, if you want us to.
Is this the I Heart Christmas Abby?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. The same Abby.
Oh, the same Abby.
All right. Okay. So she must be maybe logged on from another another device. Okay. Well, my Christmas thing is going to be, I brought out my Christmas stuff this week. And this is one of my little guys. Okay, there's that one. But here's the one that cracks.
You can almost hear the Snow Miser, Heat Miser theme.
Yes. Here is the one. I hope you can see it, and I'm going to hold it flat on my hand and hope he rocks, because he actually rocks. I got this 6 years ago, and every time I pull it out, it just gives me the biggest. It scares the cats right out of the room, but it's really funny.
Just hear those sleigh bells ringling, ding, ding, dingling, ding. Come on, it's lovely when the birds play right together with
He's
you.
so cute.
Outside the snow is falling and birds are calling you. Come on, it's lovely when the birds play right together with you. Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show. We're riding in a wonderland of snow. Giddy up, it's grand. Just holding your hand. We're riding along with a song in the wintry fairyland. Our cheeks are nice and rosy and cozy, are we? We're cuddled up together like two fleas and a doggy would be.
I had to do like two fleas and a doggy would be.
So is it just that one that scares your cats, or does the other one scare them
That's
too?
the only one that scares my cats. My other ones come up and try to rub on the trombone and knock him over.
Really?
Yeah, no, that one because the moose rocks, you know.
Yeah.
He rocks. If you put him on a flat desk, he's on one of those little snowboards for sliding.
Yeah.
Down. And he rocks and turns and does all kinds of things. Anyhow,
Are they still afraid of him when he's not on?
No,
Or...
no. I know there was one for a long time afterward. They kept looking at him like, "Are you going to do that again? Are you going to do that again? I don't trust you."
I would not be able to trust me in that situation.
I
scare my dog all the time.
I switched my name so I wouldn't embarrass my boyfriend when he streamed. All right. I think Abby's loving the little moose. And there's Tina Kris, a Russia friend. It's an amazing toy. I love it so much. Anyhow.
It's
Okay.
cute.
You know what, guys? I want to tell you, this is like a milestone ever new. This is our 25th ever new. And first of all, I want to thank all of you for being here. Most of you the whole time. That's kind of
Yes, thank you guys so much. It means so much to us.
All year long, every 2 weeks. And now I would like, you can do it now in the comments. You can do it to me at Kris@wordwhisperer.net or to Hannah at HAMcCrane@Gmail.
Yahoo.
At yahoo.com. We want to know what you're liking best, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see least of. And another thing we want to ask you is, how often should we do this? Is every 2 weeks too often? Would once a month be better? You all have lives, busy lives to lead, and I would like to know how often you would like us to continue doing this. What have you enjoyed so much most this year? Include the guests we've had on. We'll have them back on because a lot of them had a lot more to say. We had Amy Yulin on, who talked about her many Star Trek experiences. We had Mark B. Lee on, who is actually turned me on to the Celestis people so that I could get a lock of Dee's hair to the Celestis people so he could be on this Enterprise launch in January. Of course, I'm going to cover that for you guys. We may have to postpone one of the Ever News next month because in January I'm supposed to be flying over there, and I don't know what those dates look like. I won't know until literally within 10 days before, because they have to decide what the launch date is going to be, and then I have to jump on a plane, and I may say, oh, we're going to have an Ever New on Saturday, and suddenly we won't, unless Hannah wants to do one unilaterally from her side. She'd have to set it up though, which she has not done. It's not hard to do. You just click on, I want a new StreamYard, and then you would run it. That's up to you. Anywho, I would like to know what everybody likes best, what they like to see less of. We'd like your honest feedback. Okay, here we go. 2 weeks is fine with John. Hearing stories about Dee. Okay. I'd love to see Amy again. Okay. 2 weeks is great for Jano. 2 weeks is great. Everybody's liking the 2 weeks. I would like to see the launch live. Now, here you go. Janet, I believe you will be able to. I believe it will be streamed at celestis.com. Let me get you that. I'm sure I've got it on here still. Anyhow, it's celestis.com, celestis.com. The memorial service will be streamed live when it happens, and the launch will be streamed. In fact, they believe it's going to be national and international news because it's the Enterprise. It's so many of the Enterprises, Nimoy and Kelly, and it's a lot of things that have not happened before. Gene Roddenberry's gone up before, and others have gone up. Scotty has gone on several flights, but this is the first time that Nimoy and Kelly will be going, and they believe it's going to be a big deal, an international story. So it'll probably be on the news, the launch itself. But if you want to see it live, go to celestis.com, and they are going to be streaming it live. Okay. Let's see what else we got. 2 weeks, please. Still, they want to go 2 weeks. This is awesome. I'm very happy. I'm 5 hours ahead of Florida. Yes. If we could get word when the time is, I will be watching. I will definitely stay in touch with Hannah. If I know ahead of time, I will let you know. Hopefully, they'll say, oh, okay, you're going next week, and our next Ever New will happen that very weekend, and I can tell you. If not, I'll get the information to Hannah. And keep, guys, befriend me on my Facebook page if you aren't already, Kris M. Smith in Tacoma, because obviously everything that happens to me on a momentary notice, that's of importance for anybody to know about, I always put it right there. So, and also my email address is kris@wordwhisperer.net. So you can also reach out to me there. But again, it's going to happen so quickly and so, precariously. It's going to be like, and the other thing is, even if I get on the plane, even if I get there, if there's an atmospheric boo-boo, it may not happen. It may be postponed again. So it's just, when it comes to flight launches, as you know, they don't always go according to plan, and they get delayed in one thing or another. So it's going to be as much sitting on the edge of your seat for you as it is for me. We won't know until it happens. I've never done this before. It's very, very exciting and a little daunting, but Mark B. Lee promises me he will take me under his wing and help me through it. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. So any other thing, what would you like to see? Was there anything you'd like to see less of? You like the D story, so we'll keep with the book. Sometimes, once in a while, we'll keep doing the book things. Would you like to see other? I read excerpts from my animal book. Tell me what your favorite topics are other than D that we have discussed, folks. I mean, are you animal nuts? Do you like, oh, I want to share something with you. As you know, I had Solstice, my little raccoon this summer. He and his brother, Summer, were brought home by me on the summer solstice, which is why I named them Summer and Solstice. And I raised them first in my office here for about the first 10 days. And then after that, I put them out in the hen house because it was a much like 5 times as big as what I had in the house. And then eventually I turned them loose, and they stuck around for a few days. I saw them once 3 days later, and then I never saw Summer again. I don't know what happened to Summer. I don't know if something happened, if he found something else to do or whatever, but Solstice has stuck around. Hannah and Helen both were able to meet him, and he's still here. This morning I went out. I haven't seen him. I won't see him probably again unless I stop feeding, because one day I thought, gee, I haven't seen him for a while. I hope he's okay. Oh, and I stopped feeding for a couple of days, and there he was out there going like, feed me, feed me. So I said, okay, I just wanted to know you're there. And of course, all the food was disappearing at night, but I just wasn't sure it was him. You know, there are other animals around here. So anyhow, this morning I went out. It was very, very, very cold. My poor old goat was shivering. So I went and got her some hay, some straw right away, and put it out for her and gave her a couple of goat treats. And the sun came out and she's fine now. But I was a little concerned because goats aren't supposed to shiver. Anyhow, while I was out there, of course, I checked on solstices. And here we have raccoon tracks all around, all around, all around. My little Solstice is doing well. There he is by his water dish. I mean, there's his feet by his water dish. So he is around. He's becoming a little wild boy. And unless I don't feed him, I probably might not see him again. But he is here. And I noticed an interesting thing. So did Hannah. You'll notice this middle set of tracks here. There's a rear foot and a right foot. In other words, when he's either walking or running, I'm not sure what he's doing here. His left foot comes up next to his right foot, and then, you know, like alternately, he's got a back foot and a front foot next to each other. The one in the middle, he's given us a little Vulcan live long and prosper sign. Did you notice that? That little live long and prosper thing. Anyhow. So he is around. He's doing well. He's getting so big. Look at those feet. I guess you really can't tell how big those feet are, but he's getting to be a big boy. Last time I saw him, he was like, oh my gosh, you're really growing up, young man, which is a good thing. So another thing I wanted to do, last Monday we had a snowstorm and it got really, really, really cold. Hannah and Helen will especially appreciate these. Here are images I took the morning after it snowed. And Solstice is out there somewhere. I mean, that's where he stays, out there. So, you know, both you and Helen know where out there is. Here is our little garden in the backyard. You'll see a St. Francis statue and a bird feeder. Those were all green and leafy and lovely. And you've seen pictures of it in the summer when it's all leafed out and really gorgeous. But this is what it looks like when it gets freezy. And this is taken next to my sister and I, Jackie, share the same home. This is taken from the backyard from Jackie's side of the house looking across the street. And it was frozen solid. It was absolutely gorgeous. And wow. Now I'll show you where my little guys usually are. Oh, wait a minute. This is my kitchen. I just decorated for my kitchen. You can see where my little ornaments usually are. They're in my critter room right here. And see, Bobby rubs his nose on the trumpeter, on the trombone man, but he runs from the other one. And here's Bobby on my Christmas mat. This is what the Christmas mat looks like without Bobby on it. But I love that picture. Okay. And what else? And now let's go back to the comments. And then Hannah, Hannah sent me some photos, and I want to share those with you from some of her goings on. Because last week we talked about my goings on. I said, Hannah, it's your turn. Long flight from Washington State. I know it's as far as you can be from Florida. Florida is as far as you can be from Washington and still be in the United States. So I've heard it's quite the trip. It's like an intercontinental flight to go kitty corner like that.
It took about 6 hours for me to fly to you, so I'm guessing from Florida, probably around 8 hours.
7.5 to 8 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a direct flight. One of my favorite scenes from Star Trek 2 is when Dr. McCoy goes to Kirk's place. That's the first time we see Kirk's place. And one of my favorite funny moments when Bones is getting his consciousness back to Spock. Do I accept the danger? I love what he said. Hell of a time to ask. Yeah. Capone is sitting here on my recliner listening to you. Meow. Meow back.
Meow.
But beautiful photo. Reminds me of Minocqua. I hope I said that right. And Balsam Canyon. All right. So now we're going to go back over here. I'm going to go down to the pictures. Before we do this, I want to remind you that on January 28th, ever new, unless I'm in Florida, we're going to have Jay Brower, who is an intrepid hiker, skier, mountain climber, wing walker. He has taken some of the most amazing photos you can imagine. These are just like 5 that I just grabbed. I was not getting them because they were the best. I was just getting them to get them quickly. But this is some idea of the kind of images you'll be seeing with Jay. We're going to have probably 100 images to share from him because he has some amazing, amazing images of the places he's been. He's a wonderful guy. You will really enjoy meeting him. And he works with Bethel High School. He's one of their big promoters. He'll get up on a wing plane, with the Bethel School. He's just a hoot. I've known him for a long time. I wasn't aware that he was quite the adventurer that he is. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about that. Okay, now we'll get back to Hannah. Hannah sent me some photos. I said, send me some photos of some of your favorite memories. So here we go. Oh, let's see. Okay, let me clear the screen here and then go back to here and start here.
All right, so on the right is my sister Abby, aka Abby is watching. In the middle is me. To the left is a friend of mine, Sam, and the person taking this picture is another friend of mine whose name is also Abby. So I chose this picture because I haven't been able to get in contact with Sam and Abby much because, a lot of stuff's been going on. To know if it would be okay, for their faces to be shown.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, this was the only one where, faces are not shown.
Okay.
So, sorry, Abby. But,
so what was going on there?
Abby, Sam, Abby, and I, we went up to the shore, Ocean City, New Jersey, for a weekend. And my sister Abby and I, we had never had a beach day.
Aww.
Yeah, because it's just hard doing it with Megan.
And
she would not do well on the beach. She has trouble moving. So, just walking on the sand, that would be difficult for her. That she wouldn't really be able to swim in the ocean. So that was us the first day we got there. The first day we got to the beach, and if you look at my legs, you can our actual beach day was the day after that, but Abby, Abby, being my sister and I, we were so busy actually swimming in the ocean for the first time that we didn't get any pictures of that.
Ah.
So,
How far are you from the ocean where you are?
maybe like an hour and a half.
Okay.
I mean, we had been there before. We just hadn't been able to hang out on the beach much.
Right.
You know, it's one of those kind of like industrialized things. Like there's all these stores and there's, you know, like rides and all that stuff. So, hi, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie wants to be a part of this thing.
Oh,
So I'll let her sit there and lose her head. So, you know, I've lived near a beach, I would say within 2 hours of a beach, almost my entire life. And it's strange because you know it's there and you know it's always going to be there and you really end up not going there very much. But when you do, it's such a special treat. And as soon as I got to Colorado, we were working in Colorado building restaurants, and I immediately missed the beach, even though I hadn't been there in years. Just the fact that it wasn't there. I mean, It was like hours and hours and hours and, you know, days away. It just made me feel so like I was in the wrong place. And Colorado is one of the most absolute gorgeous, beautiful states.
Yeah.
In the entire United States. It is Rocky Mountain High. It is gorgeous. It is red rocks. It is so many, you know, national parks. It's a gorgeous place. But I think of course, being Pisces, I'm a water sign, and I just felt like this is not where I belong. and it's really weird. But the rest of my life, I've always been very, very near an ocean. So, and here is you in the play Titanic, the musical.
The only reason this picture is up there is because it just amuses me. Yeah, so this is when I was like 17. Yeah, basically my character had just been told that there is no hope, we're all gonna die. He actually ended up living, my character, and
The actual
in this scene,
person that you portray. Yeah.
In this scene, I'm supposed to be crying and singing a song and basically saying, you know, I'm scared out of my mind, but, you know, Lord, you have this, you know. That was, I think, my favorite character that I've ever portrayed. I'm not sure why. There was just something about playing the guy that was really fun to me. I think, well, I liked the costume. Yeah, I was in a tux. That was actually my grandfather's tuxedo that he wore to my parents' wedding. And I had been really close to him. So that was a nice little thing.
Yeah, really.
What I did not like was the mustache. Because my mom searched like everywhere online to try to find a realistic mustache that looked, you know, like my hair. And she finally found one. We needed to trim it a little bit. And I was like, oh, cool, because a lot of these other cast members have, you know, like the obviously fake black, you know, handlebar mustaches or Mario, you know. So mine was the only one that looked even a little bit real. And then I saw on the bag 100% human hair. And I'm like, oh, you know. My lip, you know.
You know, this reminds me, when I had my chest masculinized, I had a lot of people say, are you going to go on T, you know, testosterone? And I thought, heck no, you know, because first of all, I'll lose my hair. All the men in my family went bald. And second of all, I'd get hair where I didn't want it. I didn't want to be shaving all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I just can't even, I'm not a fan of beards or mustaches or facial hair at all. So I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I would like to have the muscles. I'd like to have the body, you know, kind of reshape itself, but I don't want to lose my hair. And you know, so there's a little bit of vanity in that. I mean, I have a little hair enough as it is, and I just didn't want to end up And for many people who are transgender, that doesn't even slow them down. It's like, I want that. I want hair. I want the whole male thing. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I do want that. So I never went on T. However, it would have lowered my voice. More people would have thought of me as a guy than do. But it's all right. I've been thought of as a female for 70, almost 2 years by most people. I appreciate those people who call me he, him, and his, because that's who I am. That's who my brain is. But I don't want people like twisting themselves into pretzels trying to fit, trying to honor. It's just hard when you have family members who have referred to you your whole life as she and her, to, have your kids, have your nieces start calling you uncle. I mean, I think that's kind of in my, because I haven't transitioned totally. Obviously, if I got a beard and lost my hair and, well, then they would feel silly not calling me uncle. But right now, the way I look, they probably would feel really uncomfortable. So I let it go.
I don't feel uncomfortable.
I let it go. Well, thank you, dear. I let it go because I want people to be comfortable around me. So that's the only reason why I, really don't. I've just always just dealt with however people want to think of me. So it works for me. So anyhow, so let's go. Capone's sitting here on okay, we just did that one. Lovely. Oh yeah, we did this. Okay. I pronounced Minocqua correctly. Yay! I don't like D with a mustache. Wasn't a good look for him.
Yeah. Every time I see D with a mustache, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, the beard or the beard.
Shave that now.
And the beard. It came on the Enterprise.
I'm typically fine with beards.
Yeah.
But mustaches, in my opinion, almost never look good. If anyone watching has a mustache, I'm so sorry. I'm sure it looks wonderful on you, but not on me.
I guess I'm used to however I meet people the first time. If they're wearing a beard or a mustache, I can't imagine them kind of without it. In fact, I've known people who had a beard for a long time and shaved it off, and it was like, holy smokes, you look completely different. I mean, would have no idea that was the face that you wore. I 100% agree with you, Hannah. Yeah. I think D was such a good looking guy. A lot of people wear a mustache because they maybe have a hair lip or they have some kind of disfigurement. A lot, not most probably.
Yeah.
But they're trying to hide a lot of people are trying to hide behind, when they do that. But I mean, I've read a little bit about the psychology of that.
I know Dee's beard and all that in the motion picture when he first beams on and he looks like, a disco hippie.
Yeah.
I saw a thing with him, or I read about an experience that he had. Someone had recognized him and they came up and he said, Mr. Kelly, I would like you to help me settle a bet. He's like, okay, but well, I mean, that's how I would be if a stranger came up to me and was like, help me settle a bet. But,
right.
I don't know if that's what he was like, but he said, Star Trek movie. We got $20 or whatever it is going on. Is that beard fake or real? And he said, it was... Well, the guy actually said, I got $20 running on that was your real beard. And he said, you lost the bet.
Yeah. I know the only reference Carolyn ever made to Dee's hair, other than getting him a lock of her hair, getting her a lock of his hair, was she said sometimes his hair is getting so long he could almost put it into a ponytail in the back. And she said, and I don't care how he wears his hair. He could wear it in a ponytail as far as I'm concerned. But she didn't really mention facial hair at all to me. So I don't know how she would have felt about that. I don't think she would have cared. She's like, Dee, whatever you want to do, you do that, But I just don't think, Dee had some, trying to think in Raintree County, I think he had sideburns, but I don't think he had any kind of a beard. Yeah.
I liked the sideburns on him. I'm like, okay, keep the sideburns.
Sideburns are okay. Sideburns are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like my dad used to have a mustache and he shaved it up. I almost didn't recognize him. Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of, like fathers shaving off their mustaches and beards and then showing their babies? Yeah, they don't recognize them and they start crying hysterically.
Yeah. Well, it changes the way you look. It absolutely does. A lot of people
with a guy who had a baby face.
A lot of people who met me when my hair looked like this. It's like if I have pictures of me long ago where I have curly hair, because every time I try to put any kind of a wave in my hair, it always ends up looking like an afro. So I have a lot of pictures of me with critters, especially where my hair is really curly. Now the people who met me with curly hair probably wouldn't like the straight hair. So it's just, I think you get familiar with somebody, and when it changes, like people who wear glasses their whole life, and then finally they get contacts. It's like, I can't get used to you without glasses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or take the glasses off at first, and everybody go, I just can't get used to you without glasses. So yeah, it's a matter of feeling familiar and safe with somebody. It's like you just changed who you are. No, I didn't. He had a mustache for years, and I arrived at the airport, and I was like, "Is that my dad?" Yeah.
Yeah, it totally changes your face. I went to high school with a guy who had a baby face, and like me, but he grew out a beard so that he could look like a man. And I guess on a dare or on a bet or something, one day he came with it shaved. Is that a child?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Are you supposed to be in the middle school across the street, or?
Right. Right. Yes. Well, I've never had hair. I think I've a couple times had hair almost as long as yours. But other than that, I've never had any longer hair. My older sister grew her hair way long, clear down to her butt one time. And then she cut it off when she went to Germany, and it was kind of like a pixie cut. And it was like, wow, what a difference that makes. It's made her look light and more, it made her look more happier. I don't know what it was. Anyhow, yeah. Okay. It's like Bob Ross. He was in the military and he had a crew cut. When he had his famous haircut, a lot of his war buddies didn't recognize him, or people he grew up with him. Yeah. My hair was so long, I sat on it. It took me 4 hours to dry it. Oh, I can't even imagine.
I've been told to just not do hair dryers.
Yeah.
I was getting my hair cut one time, and I don't know. I think the hairdresser or something might have had a bad day or something, because she was like, "Do you use hair dryers on your hair?" And I'm like, "No, I like to let it dry naturally." And she's like, "Good, because hair dryer, and she starts on this rant about hair dryers.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember one time I went in to get something done. I think maybe get a wave put in it. And she said, "Oh my gosh." I said, "Oh my gosh, what?" I thought maybe, what?
Like, it's either going to be good or bad.
She says, "Well, we're going to have to, what term did she use? What it meant was, we're going to have to damage your hair a whole lot if you want it to hold a curl." And I went, "You have to damage my hair for it to hold a curl. Never mind. I don't want my hair damaged."
Yeah.
We have to like make your hair less healthy in order to do what you want it to do. I said, "Well, then leave it alone." Not my idea. The only unhealthy thing I do with my hair is I dye it occasionally, because it's completely gray now. And when it's gray, it looks really a lot less full, and I start to feel old. And that's the last thing I want to do, because I really don't feel old. Like Mark Twain said, you never feel old. Your brain is always young.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to look in the mirror and go, "Who is that?" That's not who I am. This is who I am, So I did. I stopped dyeing it for about a year. Not terribly long ago. I think when I was with Roger Noriega up here last year, I had gray hair, and I finally went, no, I don't like it. If it was beautiful like my mom's was, my mom had the most gorgeous silver fox gray hair and lots of it. I don't object to gray hair. It doesn't look very good on me, and it makes me feel, old.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been avoiding hairdressers due to the worry of catching COVID. Yes. And I've been cutting it myself. So have I. I've been cutting my own hair. I call this my COVID cut. And what it is I do is I just do this and I cut off over the top and and I started doing Lisa's too. And she says, my gosh, it looks just as well. It needs doing again. Yours looks just as well as the one we spent $15 getting it done. So now I'm just doing our hair all the time.
I don't trust myself too. I've been to the hairdresser once, and that was after being double vaccinated, and it's starting to come down.
Yeah. Well, unless you want your hair very, very short, I think it would be really, really hard to cut your own hair. But I mean, it's like cut it at the top of my, well, that's kind of easy.
I wouldn't be able to have my hair really, really short because my hair is actually naturally curly.
Curly, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like it when it's curly. So
right.
It's thick, so like the longer it gets, it becomes wavy, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
So,
isn't that funny? People with straight hair wish they had curly hair, and people with curly hair wish they had straight hair. I don't know a single person who doesn't feel that way. It's like, yeah, I'd like to have some curl in my hair, but then I end up looking afro-y. So I keep my hair short. I don't look good with long hair. I'm growing it in the cooler weather. I do that. I find I let it go longer in the winter because, hey, hello, it's cold out there.
mm-hmm.
I love Dee's hair long, though. It suited him a lot. Yeah, I liked his hair a little longer. That was a Kennedy cut he wore in Star Trek, a JFK cut. Lee Sebring in Hollywood would cut his hair like that because Gene Roddenberry said we want a Kennedy type cut. But that wasn't his natural cut. I am also 4th vaccinated. Still don't want to go to the salons. I think I'm 6th vaccinated. And I'm still being very, very careful.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Lisa from England.
Hey,
Hello,
Lisa.
hello. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for coming in here. I guess I'll give you an update. That reminds me of the D. Oh, did you get your McCoy figure yet, Hannah? Did the auction lady?
No, not yet. I got a message from him a couple weeks ago saying I was going to send it out, this day, but COVID hit.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, okay, so just keep it there for a little bit.
Right.
Until you've been COVID-free for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I figured, and I just got a kind of an update that she's doing okay. It's actually a couple. It's Jim and his wife, Heidi, doing the auction, and she came down, boom, really bad with it. And so I think you'll be seeing those of you who got something from the auction will be getting it pretty shortly. And the clothing part of it will happen after the first of the year. She was supposed to spend the days she came down with COVID taking pictures and stuff of the clothing, but she just couldn't get to it. She was sicker than a puppy. So it's going to be
some kind of message. I was kind of like, hey, hope you guys are doing okay.
Yeah. It's going to be January, February before we see the clothes start coming out because they have to stage them. She's getting a mannequin or something to put them on, and she's done a phenomenal job of photographing,
Yeah, she has.
And so we're giving her. I'm flu vaccinated too, Janet. I am as vaccinated as you can get. Right after the first of the year, Medicare is going to start covering shingle shots for people who are 55 and older. And right now they're about $300, so I haven't been getting one. But after the first of the year, I'm going to get one. Jana says, mine has always been straight. Mom had a wave, but we both had lots of it. Okay. Mine is curly, and I blow dry it straight. Ah, okay. Well, mine's straight. That's it. Anywho, so we've been on here almost an hour. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want what would you like? What would you like next? If you say an excerpt from Dee's book, I'll have to run and find it. Because you know what? I just reorganized my den, my office, and I'm so happy, but not everything is where it's been. So if I have my D book here somewhere, I have no idea where it is. I have my Let No Day Dawn books here, and I have a Woman book here, but I don't see my D book. So I must have put it back up on the shelf. Here we go. Mine. Okay. Just getting over COVID. Thought I had a sinus infection. My MD said it was a light infection because I had shots. Good. Good.
That happened with us. Yeah, we thought that it was Megan. If you guys don't know who Megan is, she is my other sister who has special needs. So she brought it home from school. Around, she brought it home like June, and around that time or so every year she gets a cold. So we thought that was just it. And then a few days later we went to a graduation party, and then the day, not knowing, and then the day after that I get a knock on my door, and my bedroom door, and by the time I open it, Abby has a mask on and she's 10 feet back, and she's like, so I just tested positive, so I think you should go test too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we were vaccinated, so it was only a light infection, but
yeah.
Those
of you folks who get it in the future, vaccinated or not, if you get it and you know you got it, test yourself at home. Go immediately to the doctor, because they have something now called Pavloxid. And if you get that in your system in the first 3 days, it makes the illness so much easier to get through, number one. And secondly, the chances of you ending up in the hospital or dying or getting long-term COVID are much less. It's the long-term COVID that I know people personally who got long-term COVID who literally had to go on disability. It can be so debilitating. So I hope you guys never get it. It sounds to me like everybody's going to get it eventually. I encourage you to get your shot immunizations if you haven't already. And if you do get it, immunized or not, ask for Pavloxid, because that can help greatly.
I haven't heard of that.
Yes, it's.
When did that become a thing?
About 3 months, I want to say.
Really?
Yes, about 3 months. Shingle shots. Mom had shingles 3 times. I've already had my shingle shots, and Carolyn had shingle shots. Carolyn had shingles. And my gosh, that it was at least 4 months long. She was in so much pain. She lost 30 pounds just from the pain. It's really, really a miserable thing. If you've ever had the measles, then the shingles is in your system, and it can establish itself. So if you get a shingle shot. Jay Sebring cut a lot of famous people's hair. Jay enjoyed his haircut, but it was pretty expensive, like close to over $30 back then. Thank goodness Gene Roddenberry sent D to Jay. That's correct. I believe it was $35, Dee told me, which was an expensive haircut back then.
Yeah.
Remember, this was 67, 89, 60 years ago. So, yeah. All right. What else? Questions? Comments? It sounds like everybody's on a consensus that we should continue to do this every 2 weeks, which is fine with me, as long as we keep it fresh and exciting and uplifting. I'm all for it. I think it's really cool because I know everybody's trying to still be careful with COVID and stuff, and it feels kind of isolating. To me, it does. And I'm an introvert. I mean, I'm kind of, even for an introvert, it's like I'm ready for some interaction, and this feels good. It feels really, really good.
So mine coming out to you 2 months ago was not enough?
Yeah. Yes. No. Never. I couldn't have anti-COVID shots. They found it too late. Okay. Must be within the first 5 days, not me. So it's taking long. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say go in right away because it's right within the first 5 days. If you know, I
Yeah.
hope you all have, you can get free COVID test up to 8 a month from the federal government. They will send, you can get it on their calling list and they'll send you 8 every month. They just won't send you more because they don't want people going on eBay and making money on
Yeah.
them. But if you don't have COVID tests at home, please get some. They're free.
The last time we got a COVID shot, or we're waiting for it at Walgreens or something, my mom looks and sees that my leg is bouncing, and it's like her inner, mommy comes out. She's like, "Oh, Hannah, are you scared?" And I'm like, "No, I really gotta pee." Like, but as soon as I go back in the bathroom, the pharmacist is gonna come out.
Yes.
So 10 minutes later, the pharmacist comes out, and she's like, "All right, who wants to go first?" And I'm like, "Me!" But at the same time, Abby was like, "Me!" Because she wants to get it over with, and I totally get it. No one looks forward to that. And so my mom's like, I mean, I might as well. So they both went. And I'm still waiting out here. Something happened in there that took the pharmacist 10 minutes to give them each a flu shot and a COVID shot.
Oh no. Well, you're lucky you're
5 minutes for me.
You're lucky you're 25 because at my age that wouldn't have worked. I would have had to go. That's how it goes. Lisa says, makes my day hearing you guys talk, even if I can't think of a question. I look forward to it every fortnight. That's awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Well, guys, I think we're kind of wrapped up here for now. And please let everybody know about Evernew. Our next one is going to be the 17th. That will be episode number 27. We're going to actually have 3 Evernews this month.
Woo!
Unless you don't want to. The 17th and the 31st, the last day of the month, the last day of the year is the last one. So we're going to have actually 5 of them this month.
Nice.
If you can think of questions, guys, really, if you can think of questions in the meanwhile, write them down and then ask them next time. If you have any other comments, any other feedback, let us know. That's crucial because if we're all enjoying this, we're going to keep doing it. And if it gets to where then we won't. So, okay. Thank you, everybody.
His birthday will be on December 17th. Next time we go.
What?
John says that the 17th is his birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday, John.
All right. Well, we will be seeing you on your birthday. John in Atlanta. I'm writing it down.
You have a birthday calendar?
I don't. But if I hear about something, I write it down. Yeah. Okay. I know Tina's birthday is on the 27th of this month.
Oh,
Tina
happy
in Russia.
birthday to you too, Tina.
Tina in Russia. So been great as always. Thank you. Gosh, thank you for signing in from all over the globe. Listen, you guys, this is fabulous. I mean, really. We got Europe, we've got Russia, we've got New Zealand. Often we have Australia, US, Canada. Tammy, didn't see Tammy. She's probably working.
Probably.
Tammy's usually here. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, John. We'll tell you that next time. Okay. Love you guys. Love you. I hope your holiday season is absolutely fabulous. Whichever of the many holidays you celebrate between now and January 2nd, because there are a bunch of them. Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas. There's just a bunch of them. There's Happy Eid. I think there's like 27 holidays in this period. So happy holidays, whichever ones you celebrate. Oh, maybe next time you can tell us what your traditions are in Christmas, during Christmas time, or whatever celebrations you celebrate, whatever holidays you celebrate this time of year. That would be really an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So those of you in Europe, in Russia, in New Zealand, because look at New Zealand, their Santas are on surfboards. We're
That's
in the
amazing.
summer. They're in the summer. They're in the sun. So
Yeah.
their traditions will be different too. So
Have you ever listened to Australian Christmas carols?
I have not.
It's so weird because for us, like Santa, you know, it's snow. He's on a sleigh with a bunch of reindeer. I found one Australian Christmas carol that's about Santa riding on a dune buggy.
Wow.
You know, at the beach. It was so weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But of course, our thing, you know, our thing with snow and all that, that's weird to them.
We have to remember, like, it's beginning to look a lot or White Christmas. The people who were writing out songs were basically from the northern climates, and they were living in Southern California. And they rarely, that's why they were dreaming of a white Christmas, because they weren't where they normally were. And I was down in the South in Louisiana during one Christmas period, and it felt so unreal. I mean, it was 78 degrees, and I'm like, this is not Christmas, you know, but it is to other people, you know? And so that just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. And so it would be great to hear how you guys celebrate, or what you, I mean, I know Helen said, well, we're going to go to the beach. You're going to go to the beach. You know, I immediately start shivering. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So, okay, guys, thank you. Hannah, hang in for a minute.
Will do.
We will see you in 2 weeks. Please share this, and we'll talk to you all later. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.